Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and this is Dear Profiler Pat, where you ask me questions and ask for some advice, and I give some, and I always hope that it helps, and I hope that it helps the other people viewing the channel. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and check my playlist for the different areas of life you might like some help in. And if you want some specific help, send me an email to profilerpatbrown@gmail.com and put in the subject line, Dear Profiler Pat. Now, this question, Dear Profiler Pat, is it okay to kick someone out of my house? Oh, yeah, it's definitely okay. But I'm going to give you some examples of why it's okay, unless you've got some legal reason why you cannot, because the word here, or the two words here that are the most important words, are my house, not our house, my house. If it is indeed your house, then you have all the rights as far as who lives in it, how long people stay in it, how they should behave in it, and all of that. Now, now there are some legal issues sometimes you run into, but especially for a landlord, these tenant right things, which are sometimes just outrageous, and you have to use some clever workarounds. I've been a landlady, so I've used clever workarounds, shall we say. I don't know if I want to call them illegal, but maybe I shouldn't brag about them. Anyway, I want to read this one. This was not a letter to me, but it was to Dear Eric. And just this goes to show the situation people get into. My daughter's friend from childhood, Lucy, is now 24 years old, and she has had lifelong issues with her physical and mentally abusive parents. Lucy always looked up to me as a successful single father, raising two daughters on my own, my other being 17 now and about to enter her senior year in high school. Okay, here's a problem you have right now. You still have a child in the house, and now you're bringing in this other person who is likely a problem. Lucy moved in with her mother, but they had issues. And Lucy is no longer welcome to live with her. Oh, red flag. One of the reasons you have people move into your home is because other people don't want them in their home. That's kind of a big fat hint. Sometimes when somebody wants to rent from you, you say, I want to talk to your previous landlord. And they're like, they don't really want you to do that because there's a problem there. And also the issue of, are they responsible people? If you say, where do you live now? And they say, in my car, that's an indication that this person might not be financially okay. And when you take them in, if they have a history of not being financially stable, then they're in your house and they don't have any money. If they have mental issues, then they're in your house having mental issues. If the last person kicked them out because they couldn't get along, they're probably not going to get along in your house either. That's your big red flags. And now the problem is you always think maybe they're just down on their luck. Everybody needs a second chance. Everybody needs some help. Yeah, I get that. That's a wonderful way to be. Just understand that you need to have your eyes open before you jump into these things. So anyway, he made the mistake because Lucy moved in with her mother and they had issues. So she's no longer welcome there. She came back to town basically homeless and asked her if she could stay a while. Under what conditions? And that's the problem is that, people come up with these, okay, you can stay here if you do this. And then what's the rule if they don't do this? I gave her permission as long as she helps with house chores and doesn't smoke or vape, drink, or upset the household. She at first slept on our living room couch, got a part-time job, and I hope this will be a short-term thing. Hoping is not a good thing. You have to have requirements and figure out what you're going to do when they fail them. After 1 month, she moved into my oldest daughter's former bedroom. Now this has developed into a negative situation. She got fired from her job. She does minimal chores, only if prodded, and has taken on a nasty disposition, which is why her mother threw her out of her house. She goes back and forth into my yard to smoke and vape, the things you said she couldn't do, and doesn't acknowledge me except to argue that she's not a slave and can't wait to leave when she's able. Oh, what a nice girl she is. I know what has to be done, but I feel bad for her. All right. You can feel bad that she had a bad childhood, but she's now a nasty adult. And maybe it's time for her to learn her lessons and, and not have yourself be abused by her. And so I feel bad for her. My youngest daughter wants me to have a conversation to get her out. Your younger daughter is putting up with this garbage too. It's not fair to your younger daughter. You had a nice, stable home and you brought this catastrophe into it. And now she has to live with it. Any advice on how to do this without craziness? Well, you're dealing with a crazy person, so you have a problem there. So this is what Eric wrote back. Is this Eric? Yeah, it's Eric. Is it Eric? Sorry, I just remember which one this is. It is, yeah, it's Eric. Eric wrote back. Sometimes good deeds need good parameters. That's correct. And yes, consequences. Yes, also. You have a surrogate parental relationship with Lucy, but in fact, you're not her father. So you're kind of stuck in a limbo when it comes to guidance and authority. No, her father probably wouldn't have any better luck, and neither did her mother. However, Lucy's behavior is creating a disruptive environment for your younger daughter. Absolutely. That should take precedence. Correct. Her younger daughter doesn't have any recourse here because, wait a minute, so your younger daughter doesn't have any recourse here. This is her home, and she's still a minor. Actually, it's not her home. It's dad's home. So the younger girl can't make the decisions in her parents' home, essentially. So I would take seriously her request you have a conversation. There are resources available to Lucy, from employment to housing and job placement services, blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't give a crap about any of those things. When you talk to her, make it clear the rules she agreed to aren't being followed, and give concrete examples, which Lucy doesn't care about because she knows exactly what she's not doing right. The solution could be her leaving. No, the solution is her leaving. Or it could be a modification of the living arrangements. No, she's a disrespectful little brat. And she has no intention of following any rules. She's already proven that. So you don't give her more rules that she's not going to follow. That's stupid, Eric. Sorry. With clear boundaries. There were clear boundaries to begin with. She broke all of them. And clear consequences, what are the clear consequences? I yell at you? Lucy is an adult, yes, and can be responsible for her actions and the consequences thereof, even though the abuse she suffered is putting a roadblock on her path to success. No, it's her attitude. There's a way out, but yet another contentious home environment is not helping her as much as you want it to. Yeah, pack up her stuff. She might have to go to a homeless shelter. You might, the problem here is that when you get somebody in your house that has no money and they say, let me stay until I make enough money to go where? If she can't afford an apartment, and you'd be stupid if you signed a lease for her. So you don't want to make it so that you have to give all this, give up a ton of money and get stabbed in the back even more. So what do you do? Most you can say is that she should get a room someplace. If there's a room, but even a room cost, you have to have a down payment and you have to have a first month's rent. So she's got to come up probably at least $1,000 and get a recommendation, which you shouldn't give a recommendation to her because that would be a mean thing to do. To have some poor family say, okay, she's wonderful. You should take her into your house. Can't wait to get her out of ours. What do you do? The most you can actually do, since she's now sitting in your house, she is an adult, legally, again, this, unless it comes down to some weird squatter rights, essentially, tenant rights, even though she's not really one, you can make some kind of deal where, you have to make enough money to get out of here. But see, then you're going to be stuck with her for 2 or 3 months. It's just going to take forever. And you'd have to control the money. You'd have to make sure you got the checks and you controlled everything she spent, because she's going to spend it and then she's going to drag it on for 6 months. She's an adult. You just have to say you have to leave. If you have to drive her down and dump her in front of a homeless shelter, you say, well, this is where you live when you aren't nice to people. I hope you get your life together. They've got services. That sounds cruel and mean and horrible, but that's the place you end up in, because you took somebody in who already had a bad track record, and you're now just part of the bad track record. But it is your home, and I think you have the right to determine who stays there and who doesn't. And one of the reasons there are a lot of homeless people outside of our bodies is always because of job situations. Now, a good portion is because of drugs and mental situations. But the biggest problem is that they don't have anybody to stay with because of those problems. They burned their bridges everywhere. Nobody wants them in their home anymore. Not their parents, not their brothers, sisters, no friends. I know right now, if I needed a place to stay, I have places to stay. people would take me in. I mean, even if it's for just a small period of time. Uh, I know I've lived in other people's homes. I've always treated them well. I've always respected every rule they ever had. There was another one of these I saw with a guy. One rule that they had was no overnight guests, and then they come down and find the guy's got some girl sleeping on the couch with him, in their house, and they said that's what you can't do. And I had that rule in my house when I was renting rooms. And one morning I got up and there was some guy brushing his teeth in our bathroom. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I went up to the room and I said, you just pack your bags right now and get out of my house. Because I'm not having strangers in my house with my kids. Get out. And I might have used some techniques, but so I'm not going to get into all this. But yeah, it's a real problem. So first of all, you want to be real careful who you take into your home. You want to at least know that they're respectful people, that if they're down on their luck, they're down on luck for something super legitimate, not because they refuse to get to work. They have drug problems. They have mental problems. They have, nobody else will take them in. You get them into your house under those conditions, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting rid of them. But it's your house, and you have the right to make the rules, whatever they are. And you should make them very clear at the beginning. There's no question about it. If somebody's coming to stay with you, you would have to sit down and say, okay, this is how much time I can give you. And these are the requirements for you to stay here, and you cannot break those. The minute you break those things, I'm going to have to say pack and leave. Even if the next morning, you may have to go stay at a friend's house if you have any left, or go stay in a homeless shelter, because I'm not going to put up with it. So if I say there's no drugs in this house, and I smell weed in my house, or worse, you're out immediately. And if I say no overnight guests, I don't want people in my house I don't know, because it's my house. You break that, you're out. So you have to respect the rules. And if you turn on me and you're nasty toward me, you need to leave. It's my house. You're not paying rent. You're not, even actually if they're paying rent, even if they're paying rent, it's still your house. If you rented them a room, it's still your house. You have the right to all the rules and to be treated well, because this is your home. Not only is it your house, it's your home. So always remember that they're a guest in your home, even if they're paying rent. So be careful who you let come and stay with you. Being nice is lovely. Maybe you should be nice in a way that doesn't have them living in your home, and in a way you can't get rid of them. But if you're going to have them come to stay with you for any reasons, you want to find out exactly what the situation is, where they'll go if it doesn't work out with you. That's a good thing to establish. Maybe you're willing to help them, but you want to talk to some other people that were in their lives, and say, hey, if this doesn't work out here, and I'm going to send them over to you. You got that? And they might go, okay, let's see if it works out at your place. But yeah, we'll take them back if it's, and then we'll deal with it. Okay. That gives you a little bit of a, cushion there. And then you make the strict rules and make sure that they live by it. And otherwise, you want the rules your way, then you need to be in your house or your apartment. But you're not going to be in my house doing it and treating me poorly like this guy. It's this girl who's in his house, just treating him like dirt in his own house, even though he's being really nice. No. So Eric, you're too lenient. No, she needs to go. In my opinion, I don't know if I'd give her a second chance. I think she needs to leave. I think he gave her enough chances. Just pack her bags for her, set her out. Tell a friend, come and get her. And maybe she can go stay at the friend's house. And if I say there's always a homeless shelter down the street. Sounds cruel, but if that's the lesson they need to learn, maybe that's the lesson they need to learn. And the rest of the people in your house shouldn't have to put up with being mistreated because you were trying to be too nice. Anyway, those are my thoughts. You've been in that situation? Put it in the comments below. And again, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.